This is Kenny. He's a begat of Pete and Ann.
So I'm wondering what it was like when you were on the other side of the family, what it was like to watch your parents and grandparents get older.
One set of grandparents, and that was my dad's mother. Was the only grandparent that I had, and she lived with us for a while. And I can remember that my dad was always very helpful, helping me with homework and everything. And as he got older, I felt and I never really felt close to him because he was always out there. And the only thing I can remember that we did together was in Munich, we shot a game of pool together. And that was the first time that he, being a Norwegian family, they don't express emotions. So I never really knew what he was thinking. But he was very fair and wanted to, the way he financed the college education was that he would give me cameras and lenses to sell when I needed money. So he wouldn't just give me money, he'd just give me to sell. And so that was one of the things that I remembered. But my mother was something else. She was a person who had blind faith. Anything she was convinced it was God's doing. And the only one time I think that we felt she had a line to upstairs was the 4th of July in 1942 in the war, and we were supposed to meet my dad in Slidell, Louisiana from a maneuvers he was on. Well, we had been over in Birmingham and down, and we were supposed to meet him at the train station, and we got there, but he wasn't there. And the station master said, well, there was an officer here, but he got tired of waiting and went into New Orleans. So my mother said, let's go, kids. So we got in the car and drove to New Orleans. What she expected to find, I don't know, but we were walking up and down Canal Street. And at the time, Sylvia and I were hungry, and so we went, we were hungry. And so we said, okay, there was a drugstore on Canal Street. So we went in there, and we're just sitting down, and all of a sudden my mother says, come on kids, we gotta go. Oh, well, we just got here, can't we get some? No, come on, we gotta go. So we went out on Canal Street and started walking up, and my dad came walking down the street.
Wow.
And she had, I think, prayed very hard for that, and it was something else. But that was the main thing.
I, like Dida, I only knew one grandparent. I had a step-grandmother, but my grandfather was like Dida. He loved beer. And he told me as a little kid he always had to have his medicine. And I believed him. And so he was quite the character. He was a very learned man who had never had the money to go to college. And so he had basically taught himself through the National Geographic. He could tell you a lot about the world just from reading National Geographic. My parents, I saw great strength in them until their last few years. And to me, they were the Rock of Gibraltar. And they were that way until almost the very end. And when Kathy and Peter's father died, I was I just knew that they were there, and that's all that mattered. And I had a faith in God. But my parents exuded strength. They were very quiet, they were quiet, but they loved people. And they would help people out. And they were very generous in sharing their home. Like Aunt Alice shared her home with Jenna and the girls. And they took in young cousins to live with them. And that taught me something, that you can share your home. And they were well educated. And Dad, my father, worked till he was probably 75 years old, and then until he was 80, when he worked part-time until he was about 80. And then he had to quit after that. That's what I remember my parents, my grandparents. And I didn't really worry about them until the last few years.